What's up, YouTube? This is Black Raza Video, empowering black people through education. And I'm on a walk again to the library as usual, walking through my quote-unquote hood here. I always like to walk on this side more when I'm talking than the other side, because like I said, no one really comes here. Because, you know, some of the black folks over on this side be acting a fool. But it doesn't bother me. Sometimes I sit down to talk to them when I see them acting a fool. Sometimes I don't. Just depends on how many of them are, what they're doing, and, just how I feel that day. But I said, do what I can. But like I said, we always gonna focus on health, wealth, and education. Now, today I was listening to the PearlJr versus Tariq Nasheed little debate that they had. Now, first, let me tell you, before anyone gets any idea and be like, oh, he's talking bad about them too, and blah blah blah. I'm not at all. They both made great points, and they both made very, very bad ones too. So no one won that debate. Matter of fact, they both took L's on that one. They really did both took L's on that one. Really just wasn't. No one won that debate at all. They both took L's. That's another problem with our so-called leaders or people in the spotlight. They can't seem to understand how to disagree with each other. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with a person, but they couldn't understand how to do it. Especially Mr. Tariq Nasheed. He crossed the line very, very bad with telling her that if he was her husband, he would domestic violence her every day. He'll hit her. You need to know your place. And he just basically wow. It was just like straight, like, I couldn't believe that came out of his mouth. I'm still in shock by that debate. I heard the whole thing, not just one part, not just this, because people say, well, you just taking that out of context. That's the only part you heard. Nah, I heard the whole thing. And Tariq Nasheed, he doesn't like black women, and Pearl Johnson doesn't like black men. That's a problem. This is why we will never get anywhere. It's not the fact that we disagree with each other. It's the fact that we're divided. Like, we basically hate each other. We want nothing. Black women and black men want nothing to do with each other. This is an honest assessment of things that I've seen throughout the years. All the stuff that I see on TV, what I read, the World Star Hip Hop generation before them, and everything else. This is what I've noticed. Black men and black women don't get along. It's basically a power, struggle of who's going to be on the top, either the men or the women, instead of finding equal common ground, which is something that we haven't done in a long, long time as male and female, the same race. We haven't done that in a long time. Ever since the 60s, was it 60, 65, 68, one of those times when the women decided to do the welfare thing instead of doing the family thing. That right there has pretty much destroyed our family nucleus. Now, I'm not blaming the women. we both have a part, and men and women both have a part in why our situation is currently the way it is. Both play a part in that. So it's not a one-sided thing. Because just blaming one side anyway, even if it's just their fault, you never get anywhere like that. The person would turn defensive. Instead of saying, how can we fix this? Or instead of, because this is what we're saying. You need to fix this. Instead of, how can we fix this? And until we come as we instead of you, we're always going to have these problems that we have between the men and the women, because we're not together. That's the screw that the country is not together, that, we're fighting for racism and everything like that. That pales in comparison to the way that we feel about each other.